now. Hi, everyone. Happy Friday.
Hello.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Bill, this is your first time DMing for Thread Raiders, right?
That is correct. I am totally confident, not nervous at all. I'm going to have a good time, and so are all of you.
Yes. It's going to be a blast.
So, should we kick off with introductions and why we're all here, all that kind of stuff?
Of course. Why don't you go first, Bill?
All right. So we are all here as part of the One Drop event. This is a charity donation event that benefits the people of Flint, Michigan, who still are struggling with with clean water. All of the donations that are made tonight will go towards buying filters, which will be distributed amongst the people that do not have clean water in Flint, Michigan right now. So as much as you possibly can, donations are extremely helpful. We look forward to performing the silly things on our donation lists. Jordan, I believe that should be visible. Is that accurate? Yes?
Yep,
okay,
it should
cool.
be popping up over the course of this event. And if not, just let me know and I will post.
Yeah, and Jordan will also be in charge of letting me know when donations happen so I don't miss it. But yeah, so that's basically the why we are here. Now, as to what we are doing, we are going to be running a goblin heist. So let me give a little bit of an introduction. Deep breath. Jubilation! A massive bonfire is lit, and the celebration begins. The clan has completed another successful raid, and the four of you are the celebrated champions of yet another raid on the nasty surface dwellers. Crude tables made from discarded pallets are strewn throughout the warrens, and a makeshift dais stands atop this beautiful bridge spanning the underground river that has supplied your clan with life for centuries. The smell of cooked boar wafts through the entire cave, and the clan engages in communal salivation. Atop the dais on the bridge, your chieftain stands, Chief Wiggletush. Chief Wiggletush oversees the excitement, and he holds a massive decorative staff in one hand as he very seriously looks at the other hand, in which he holds a shiny necklace recently acquired. As is tradition in these types of ceremonies, your goblin brethren are launching themselves into the bridge, from the bridge into the river below, in a gesture of appreciation for the fresh water that has given your clan over the millennia. And, as a show of talent, some are doing flips, twists, and spins as they plunge into the waters below. Now, you all, the champions of the most recent raid, have been seated at one of the crude tables in the center of attention, right next to the bonfire, and have been given first choice at the series of boar that are being paraded out in front of you. Before we start, why don't we go around and introduce yourselves? Who is sitting at this table amongst the jubilation?
Well, if no one will go first, I'll do it. I am Chaffee Lickwound, rogue extraordinaire. I would sooner chew off your face than stab you in the back, but then again, I'd probably do that too. Hi.
And Chuffy, what do you look like? What is your appearance?
Well, I definitely have a very goblin-y appearance. I'm wearing, all the raggedy clothes that you would expect from a goblin. I'm wearing an eye patch on one side of my face. I'm wearing, all the darkest clothes you could possibly find. And of course, I have no jewelry because I'm a rogue and I need to be quiet. Yes.
Of course, makes perfect sense. Fidget, why don't you introduce yourself?
I am Fidget, and I will, I promise not to set you on fire too much. Maybe. So, Fidget is, I've got like these goggles that I'm always wearing. The left side is cracked. Has like no hair, no eyebrows, because they may or may not have been singed off few times. And maybe. And his clothes are like just very patchwork, very dirty, just things that I've somewhat just thrown together and sewn, and they're sort of frayed and singed at the ends. And his
All
feet
right.
yeah.
Beautiful. And Noth, how about you?
Well, now there's a goblin of distinguished grace and appearance. Wear a shark skin, well, I'm a barbarian. It's a tunic. I mean, well, it's not a tunic. It's a loincloth. But don't look at me like that. Wear a very large pirate cap. Pay attention. It's a feather. The feather is the part I want you to look at. I see you undressing me with your eyes. Pay attention to the divers.
It's a very beautiful feather. I love it.
And Dizzy.
Yeah. My name is Dizzy. And she's got black hair that's kind of wrapped up in a bun that might be a boomerang, might be a bone. Not really sure. It's in her hair. And she's wearing armor. She's got what looks like she smeared a bunch of like petals of flowers together to like put some blush on her face, give her a little bit of healthy coloring. So it's smeared there to kind of a little bit of makeup, you know. Yeah, so she's sitting at the table and food.
So kick it over to you guys. How you guys have just all finished up with this massive raid. You've brought the four of you have brought the most food back and the most shiny objects back as well. You were up top raiding some village of the tall folk up top, and you've come down, and now you're kind of celebrating this feat. What do you all do as the way that you celebrate seeing all this kind of activity that's been going on around you? There's pretty much anything you want. If you can dream it up, it's going on at the moment.
I'm gonna break out my bagpipes and play a tune.
Oh, music. I love good music. That's the only good music. I'm gonna dance a jig.
I don't pretend to be good.
So why don't you roll a performance check? First roll of the night. Let's get that performance going.
Yeah, that's a 15.
So yes, look, goblins are not wonderful appreciators of fine music, and so even though it sounds like a series of squeaks coming out of some kind of rodent, the rest of the goblins around you are looking at this masterful virtuoso of the bagpipes and really, really appreciating how. I mean, mostly just how you're able to make these sounds in the first place. So people are watching you, enamored.
Best sound.
Stop looking at me!
Now, and Jed, just to get the attention off of him, I'll look it up on the table. That's still full of food, by the way.
Yes.
I'll dance a jig just to
help. Just to help get the attention off him.
All right. Why don't you also make a performance check?
After all, I'm a nice goblin like that.
All right. That'd be, oh my gosh, what would that be? It'd be a 23.
Oh, wow. All right. So you nimbly dance across this table, kicking food, but the way that you're kicking the food is almost as if it's intentional. So a hawk goes this way, some belly goes that way, and there are goblins out in the audience kind of looking at the growing celebration at the moment now in the center of this table right next to the bonfire and reaching out and grabbing a leg, and they're like chewing it off, and you're encouraged by this, and you continue to kick food off of the table, and it's both beautiful and delicious. What about you? What about it? How are you kind of indulging yourself into this celebration?
I think Fidget just like I just grab like a leg of boar and like just take out a flask and just sort of take a sip, take out a torch and just roast the boar again, and I'm just eating it. It's very well charred by now. He likes his food a little bit crispy.
All right, right. Yeah, well, delicious. I mean, if you could add any more to the delicious smells inside of this cavern, you have with you grab a piece of this pork that is a little bit underdone, and you start to sear it a little bit, and the fat melts a little bit more, and you just kind of like suck on it like a big juicy meat apple.
That's
Yeah.
a description.
That's
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a t-shirt in itself right there.
That's
Oh,
a
yeah.
bumper sticker. That's a t-shirt, keychain.
A meat
right.
apple.
Work on it, CA.
And Dizzy, how are you celebrating?
So Dizzy is using whatever cutlery is nearby, which probably isn't much. So she's gonna take out her little short sword and she's cutting up like the chicken, and she's pretending she's having a really fancy meal. So she's humming, albeit it'll be off key, but she'll be humming the like she's imagining she's at like some fancy gala and she's trying to eat eloquently as she's using a short sword to like cut up some meat and eat. So she's like in her own little world of just chaos and wonder.
And at the same time, Chuffy is still dancing upon the table. You hear that Dizzy is humming, and you're encouraged that she's actually humming to the sound of Noth's bagpipes playing, and they're now encouraging you to dance more.
Oh, yes. Oh, I love the music. So it's music is what fuels my heart. Mm.
Not if you step, I'm sorry, Chuffy, if you step in my food, I'm cutting off your leg, so don't step in my food.
I will gingerly try not to step in her food as I'm dancing across the table.
All right, fantastic. So
Because I do value my toes.
yeah, she's
I
Two
don't.
minutes in.
short
We're in a
sword.
PvP.
It's pretty much, short sword is goblin sized. Sort of like she's using
It's
a
like that
samurai
paper
sword.
cutter, like the giant paper cutter. You
Yeah,
had to,
oh.
like...
Yeah, definitely got the image there.
So as the scene goes on with Dizzy humming and Noth bagpiping and Chuffy dancing and Fidget kind of further cooking his meat more, you recognize the second in command, the chieftain's right-hand man, who you know to be a very tall goblin named Big Whomper. And Big Whomper comes over, and he has a massive maul in his hands.
Mhm,
And but right now he's using it mostly like flipped upside down, like he's using it as a staff, almost like you would a sledgehammer if you're kind of like walking with it. And he comes over and stands behind you, Noth, as you are playing your bagpipes. I kind of waits for what he perceives to be a break in the music. To
It takes a while.
It takes a while. Yeah, we're all
Long-winded here.
so he's standing there for a while, and he's kind of looks a little bit uncomfortable. He's like, "Is it now?" Is it now? Nope. Okay, well, I'll wait a little more. Oh, is it now? Yeah. And then he actually starts growing impatient and then slams the maul on the floor. Thunk! Thunk! He says, "Champions, I am proud to welcome you to this celebration of your feats."
his
I didn't
feats
practice
or
that
my
voice.
feats?
Oh,
Oh, I like feats.
Of course, you know that our chieftain, Chief Wiggletush, would like a word with you. Please, if you would come with me onto the dais atop of the bridge, Chief Wiggletush would be waiting for you.
But we're eating.
I'll lead the way.
And begin marching, playing a bagpipe parade.
I jump down off the table mashed potatoes in one foot, just all over my foot. Just gross.
Do you have these shoes on?
Well, I guess whatever you'd constitute as a goblin shoe.
Okay, I'm just thinking about like the visual of stepping into some mashed potatoes, almost as though you're
Blech.
like you're smashing
mud.
grapes. Yeah.
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 Oh.
Wearing one sock with a hole in the toe.
Oh, I can feel that right now.
Yeah.
You're the one that said it, so
I know, but you guys went with it.
D&D, man.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
yes, and.
What you do?
You go with it.
All right, so you follow Big Whomper as he walks towards the bridge, and forgive me as I do not use a goblin voice for Chief Wiggletush. As I need some water to continue that voice. But so you follow him. This is a very, very large bridge. In fact, it's probably about 50 feet long because the width of this underground river inside of this massive cave that you're in right now is actually about 50 feet. So as you can as you're walking up this bridge, you continue to see people kind of launching themselves into the water. It's very graceful in some spots, but it's also almost comical in others. And for the four of you, you know that this is not necessarily a fun activity, although that is a side benefit of it. It's almost like an like, yes, this is fun, but the main important thing about it is that we are celebrating the fact that this water is flowing through. We wouldn't have been able to have the fuel inside of us to do this raid, to bring people back. We couldn't survive without what's going on inside of the center of this cave. And you walk up to the dais, which is right in the center of this bridge, and there's a couple steps up, and at the top you see Chief Wiggletush, who is looking out into the water, kind of facing away from you. And as you walk up, he sees you and turns around and says, "Welcome. It's such a nice opportunity to meet you, all four of you." And he reaches over to you, Fidget, and shakes your hand. It says, "What is your name?"
Fidget. Yes.
Pleasure to meet you, Fidget. Please join me up here atop the dais.
I join him, and I'm still chewing.
I'm glad you got a chance to eat some of our delicious boar. What about you, short one? And Chuffy, he reaches out to you and shakes your hand as well.
Yeah, I'm still visibly like kind of freaked out about what's in my sock. Now like,
Oh, my name is Chuffy. Hello.
Chuffy, what's a wonderful name. You are certainly a bastion of I suppose honor here. Welcome upon the dais with me. And you, Mr. Bagpipes, what is your name?
Me? I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Okay, not North. No, very nice to meet you. Albeit a bit strange of a name, not North, but welcome you upon the dais, Mr. Not North. And you, the last one. Your name, please.
And she'll give a curtsy. Dizzy.
Very fancy indeed. Please, of course, join me upon the dais.
The what is?
Dais. It's like a platform. This thing that I'm standing upon. It's called a dais. You don't get to be Chief Wiggletush without knowing what a dais is. So, if your career is going to be long inside of this clan and you want to achieve the role of Chief Wiggletush, you should know this is the dais. Now, and you could tell that he is turning around, and he kind of looks out across the water again, and he he says, as is tradition with all of these celebrations, as you know, being a part of this clan for so long, it is the tradition that the most successful of you are to jump into the water below in almost a synchronized fashion. So if you would, please get up upon this railing here, hold hands, and jump in.
But why?
Because we'll get wet, that's why. Is that not a good reason?
I don't like water.
At the risk of sounding odd, I stopped being a pirate because I can't swim.
Come on, we gotta do it. It'll be fun.
Hey, you jump first.
Okay.
But it's not terribly deep.
That's the...
And with that,
Shark bait! Shark bait! Shark bait!
It's only a couple inches. Please jump from this bridge. Oh, that was a joke. It's not actually a couple inches.
I was gonna say that's a little dangerous.
Bill,
The water's
seriously?
only a couple inches deep.
Wow,
This bridge.
that would not be good.
No, so you see people jumping in, and you can tell, like, you know, it's probably at least like maybe 10 feet deep. There's definitely clearance so that if you jump in, you're not going to get crushed.
Yeah. I'll be the first one to jump in because it just sounds fun, and I'm kind of reckless a little bit like that. So,
Chuffy, wait! You must go with your friends here. It is tradition that the foremost.
Thank you for the donation, by the way. $15 to shoot the cannon. Whatever that means.
All right, I am going to put that on my shoot the cannon meter, and we will do that. Actually,
As you
I'll
jump into
get in
the
a
water,
cannon
it
if it means
shoots
I don't
up.
have to jump in the water.
Boom.
actually, you know what? No, let's do it right now. I don't know how to put this in context, but so all of a sudden, you guys are all kind of like standing more or less around the top of this dais right next to the edge of the bridge, and all of a sudden there is a stream of water comes right out of the ceiling and lands right behind you and splashes. And I need you all to make a Dex saving throw, please.
Oh no, Dex is my word.
Dex is my
Okay,
best
let's
stat.
see. Let me look. Oh, okay. Oh, +9. That might help a little bit. Unless I roll a 2. All right.
Okay.
That's 11.
It's a 15.
I got a 7.
Oh no, you got a 1.
One
Oh,
plus,
no.
I have a -1, so it's 0.
Oh no.
All right. So actually, Noth, you're the only one that saved. The DC was 15.
Oh no.
Water!
So water just explodes behind you, and I think
can't swim!
Oh, it's so cold. Oh.
and Dizzy, Fidget, and Chuffy, you guys are all so put off and like almost like off balance by this. You fall into the water without any ceremony whatsoever. You head over tea kettle. You're in the water now. Now, Noth, I will kind of defer to you since you made the save DC. Like I think that you kind of like you're so on edge at the moment that you're kind of you're wary of everything going on around you. You see this thing come down and you kind of like scoot to the side.
But Noth is also a goblin of tradition, and if they're all going in, we have to go at the same time. And I will reluctantly let go of the edge and try to land on Chuffy.
No, I want to be down to it.
You all splash into the water down below, and the current is nice. It's pretty easy. It's also not for your sake. It is salty. It's very, very brackish, and so you float no problem. And you surprisingly
I'm trying to crawl on top of them, so.
Are we a raft to you?
Get off
If
me.
I had some rope, I have rope. Hold still.
Oh no. I am not
And
a flotation device.
it's almost like a lazy river kind of thing. So you kind of get in, and then you see the bridge underneath that you float underneath the bridge very, very lazily. It's actually kind of calming a little bit. And Noth, even though you're a little bit apprehensive about going in there, you calm down. It's a very, very calming experience. And there is a bend in the water, bend in the river down below, and the current kind of brings you up towards one side where there is kind of a makeshift staircase that you can come out. And as you float on a little bit more, you try and get over towards that staircase. However,
You always scare me when you pause, Bill.
well, I had to
I've played with you long enough to know.
He's gonna ask for a swim check. I know.
No.
So
if someone
there
grabs
is-
our ankles,
no. So you see that the level of the water has left this kind of ring around the edge of where the river should be. But as you start to navigate your way towards that, you can tell that the level of the water is a little bit lower, and it's actually seems to be lowering significantly. And so if you all could make an athletics check as you try and scramble towards this makeshift ladder.
Bill's true colors of trying to kill my character before we start are coming.
well, that's why I'm glad I have a plus 13 to athletics
Oh, that's not bad. 14.
and another 2. I got a 15.
All right. And Fidget?
That's a nat 1.
Oh,
Oh
no.
Oh no!
Same.
All right. So
Oh, no.
yeah.
You have a plus 6 though.
So Chuffy and Dizzy, you make it no problems over to the side. At the moment that you get there, you realize that the water is probably about 3 feet below where it was before, and which is just enough for you to sort of push off the bottom, reach up, and pull yourself out. So the two of you are kind of get out and stand on that first step, and what you see happening behind you is that Noth and Fidget have started to panic. It's
Oh no!
Noth was starting to get comfortable with the way that he was floating, and then a little bit of thalassophobia set in, and he started to grab onto Fidget as he was starting to get freaked out, and the two of them sunk down below to the bottom.
Oh, no.
However, you kind of stand there looking down at the water, and you realize that the water level is consistently dropping and dropping. And then you see the head of Noth, and then grabbing onto the shoulders of Fidget. And it is this sort of embarrassing scene where the two of them are kind of wrapped in each other's embrace. And Noth looks up at the two of you a little sheepishly, now noticing that there is no more water in the river.
I'm splashing my toes in the water.
Why is it warm?
Sorry.
Bridget, what did you do?
Are you two having fun over there?
You should have just said something.
My vial broke. Yeah. That's fire liquid.
Oh, and I just realized now my sock is full of wet mashed potato.
Oh, no.
Oh, it feels so gross.
Take it off.
I'm gonna just take it off and start washing it in the river. Oh.
So you find one of the small puddles that's still remaining after the river has kind of dissipated, and you start washing out the mashed potatoes. Still looks delicious, though. I mean, it's good food.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're goblins. We'll eat anything.
Exactly. Okay, so there is a collective gasp as the whole entire Warrens now see what has happened to their beloved river, and you see Chief Wiggletush walk down off the dais and start coming towards you, and he sees you at the bottom of the staircase, and he says, Champions, it seems as though a great trouble has happened here. As you were in the waters, do you know what happened? It seemed
I'm
from...
so sorry. It's my fault. I jumped in. I shouldn't have jumped in.
Yeah, he did it.
Oh, absolutely, it was his fault.
I'll be honest, I don't know that that's the case. It seems as though that was a coincidence entirely.
What's a coincidence?
It's when two things happen simultaneously.
What simultaneously?
It's when two concurrent activities...
What's concurrent?
Oh my gosh, Chuffy.
Okay, Chuffy's done.
We're gonna be here all night, and I know Phil always gives vocabulary lessons anyways, but like...
If I had to guess, I would think that this would be something nefarious has happened in my entire life. I've never known anything to happen to this beloved river.
Did the tide go out?
The four of you, no, as far as I know, there's no tides. But that said, the four of you have been the most successful ones of the most recent raids. As such, it would be my great honor to ask you to investigate what happened here. Would you be the champions of this clan once more and bring back our sacred water?
You have my pike.
Can you have my shoe?
As I hold up my wet, soggy shoe.
And my boomerang. Ow, ow, never mind. Ow.
And my fire. Hold up a torch, but it doesn't light because it's wet.
We're so ready, guys. I can tell.
We're gonna be fine.
And so the brothership has been formed.
Brothership?
I thought we were taking Fellowship of the Rings references.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Would it be more? I think it's more of a fellowship. Not really. We're fellas.
Fellowship. That is quite clever. Yes, fellowship. Well, as you know, the current came from that direction, and he points off up towards the northern end of the cave, and he says, anything you can do to either find out what happened or bring back the water would be greatly appreciated.
I will start my investigation here. Fidget, you were the only other one I saw in the water. Did you drink it all?
Probably. Or maybe you went in his shoe, and I'm pulling at Chuffy's shoe.
I'm looking at my shoe, just trying to wring it out as best as you can wring out a shoe.
Like, I don't know. It wasn't me. Look, there's not much water here. See?
Listen, I guarantee you, and he started to like look around. He's like, was this a mistake? I guarantee you it's not his shoe, and I don't think it was any of the four of you at all, actually. There were others inside the water at the time. Guarantee you there is something upstream that deserves a bit more investigation.
Chieftain, should we tell everybody else to stop jumping?
I feel the earth move.
I think, that would be an automatic crit fail if they kept jumping.
We should follow the water. Let's go follow where the water went.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Let's do it.
And I'll sort of point my my fishy lance, aka a pike, down river, or where the river used to be.
Okay. Okay. So, you kind of walk along this dry riverbed up into the very, very end of the cavern, and at the very end of the cavern, it opens up into. It closes down into this sort of small tunnel, and you can tell that this is kind of something that was cut out of the stone of the warrens, and and it's very very clean inside. It's almost as though this water has been flowing through it, kind of breaking away the outside of the stones for millennia, and it's incredibly smooth. And as you go along, you start to hear just sort of the echoes of your feet as you go into this very 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 dark cave. I don't know, do you
Chuffy's like, shoot.
Yeah, it's not just that. It's not just a wet sound; it's a wet, mushy sound. And it's actually getting to be quite a pleasant feeling too.
Do you still have your dirty wet sock on?
No, it's still the shoe that still has bits of mashed potato in it.
Okay, and you're still wearing it?
Yeah.
Okay. For as long as you wear it, please take disadvantage to stealth rolls.
Oh.
Gladly.
That's not
Worth it!
But it feels so good.
God.
Toe taters. Whoever posted that in chat, why would you do that to me?
It was Rain.
Reen, why would you do that to me?
All right, so you guys continue on for maybe about 10-15 minutes, and it's the slope of this cave starts to go up a little bit, and as you go along, you can hear what sounds like the faint sounds of somebody sobbing off in the distance up ahead.
Are you sure it's not the sound of my shoe?
100% clear.
Okay.
What direction is it coming from?
So you are headed up, and it's continuing up. There's only two directions. There's up and there's back. So this thing is sloping up a little bit, and it's probably, you can't really tell distances because the echoes of the cave are such, but it is, it's off in the distance up ahead.
Awesome. And hang on, we just got another donation.
Okay. Woo.
Hey.
Yeah.
Thank you so much out there.
Thank you. Let's see.
How will we mess with the game today?
What's gonna happen? Because I don't see it. But our lovely and wonderful CA has alerted me that we had a donation, but I don't see it yet. So continue, and I will let you know.
Okay, sounds good.
Tell me it's not filled the current.
Oh, it's for CA donated for Chuffy to be a pirate for 10 minutes.
Arr. I'm pirate Chuffy. Arr.
You got somewhat of a peg leg too with your potato-filled sock.
I'll be like with my soggy potato-ridden shoe, and suddenly there's a feather behind my ear now. All of a sudden, just out of the blue, just like a pirate.
We're gonna have a pirate buff.
Oh God!
Pirate
Oh yeah!
Arr.
Yes!
This is
Pirate Brothers, you can
marvelous.
play my drums!
I'm like, arr. This is fabulous.
I will.
But that's actually perfect. So yeah, what do you guys do as you hear this sobbing up ahead?
Yo, Chuffy,
Yo. Arr.
you're stealthy, right? Well, not when
Yeah.
you're doing that.
Sorry. Oh. Maybe I should take that off.
I take it off.
Well, I mean, you should go check out that whoever's crying.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, take the shoe off. I just put it. I just tossed it to someone. I don't even bother finding out who I toss it to.
Hit
And,
Spitter in the face.
Oh.
Thanks.
Are there any animals in the cave?
Why don't you do a nature check?
You got.
Oh no.
4.
So in your times in the cave, you haven't ever really seen any natural flora or fauna in here. It's just sort of rocks as far as the eye has seen.
Oh, we're gonna get hungry.
Hey, there's always my shoe.
Ew.
I'd rather eat a rock.
Your loss.
Okay, so now I will start sneaking. I will sneak. Boy, I'm sure glad I have a good stealth on that. That'd be a 16.
Okay. And did you take your shoe off?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool. So you sneak up, and what you see up ahead is it's actually a little bit of a waterfall that goes up. And at the very bottom of this waterfall is this kind of pool where you can kind of intuit that the water would come down and churn up the rocks at the bottom of the waterfall, and so that's why there's still this little pool at the bottom here. The rest of it is entirely dry, and you can see inside of that pool a faint watery figure just kind of sitting with their legs kind of with their elbows on their legs and their head in their hands, and they're sobbing a little bit.
I kind of look at her. I kind of look back at the others. I'm like, I kind of turn back to the others.
There's a girl over here. Come here, guys.
I'm trying to motion you guys to come over.
Do you want us to roll for Stealthville? I'm
Yeah, so you
terrified.
tell-
Over.
You
that's
tell
your
me.
choice. That's your choice.
Mhm,
gotta
no,
try.
I will try to be stealthy with all my armor on.
Okay, let's
Oh
see.
no.
Okay.
Oh, I got a 25.
This will work.
That's a very good roll.
9.
Yeah.
9 is less good.
Everyone's being all quiet, and all of a sudden you hear chink, 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 chink coming.
What did Noth get?
I feel like a 13's pretty good in this group.
It's
13,
definitely-
13 is not bad. So you do come up. I think, Dizzy, you are trying to be as quiet as possible, but there are a couple of like puddles along the way of the residual water, and you step in one, and it turns into this kind of like splash. And this figure stops sobbing and looks in your direction and sees the four of you. And you hear a voice say, Who is that? Who are you? What are you doing here?
Nothing. No one
What?
does goblins.
Where did the water go?
I don't know. We were back there taking a swim, and it went bye-bye. We don't know where it went.
I bet it was the bad people. I bet it was them. They take everything.
Why are you crying?
Don't you see? All the water's gone. I used to live in this waterfall that would splash down, and I'd take a bath and a shower, and it would be so nice. It was my peace. And now I'm suffering in this puddle as though the only thing for me to do is kick my feet. And they kind of like take their feet and do one of these things in the water. That's pathetic.
We also have another donation.
Hey.
$10 to have the room fill up with water.
Okay.
Oh no.
Jesus.
Club R.
And
Oh, I guess she will cry me a river.
so if I can slightly reinterpret that, she gets very, very angry, and she says, I don't know if it was the bad people. I think it was you.
Oh no.
And I'm gonna need all of you to do a strength saving throw, please.
Oh no.
As she starts throwing water, almost as though there's some kind of portal inside of her hands that shoot out water, and it starts to fill up the room. So please make a DC 15 strength check, a strength saving throw.
Oh,
Does a 3 make it?
19! Finally!
That'd be 11.
I got a 3.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Failing all the saves.
Oh no.
No, this is not good. Arr.
Arr!
16.
Okay, so I think Dizzy, you're the only one that saved on that one.
Hey!
All right. So everybody else, please, you are going to take 13 bludgeoning damage,
Yeesh.
and you are grappled as the water starts to. It doesn't only fill up the room; it also actually holds you to the ground.
Yeah.
And we are going to roll for initiative.
Oh,
And
no.
how much damage?
13.
All right.
Eh,
This is why I don't like swimming.
Origin
Don't worry.
story.
We've got this. Yar.
Okay. Dizzy got a 16 initiative.
All right.
Oh my god, what's wrong with me and my low rolls? Okay.
Get him out now.
Let's see. Yeah, I got a wonderful 6.
Oof.
I got an 18.
18 for Fidget.
22.
22 for Noth. All right, Noth, you are up first. Fidget, you're next. So you Noth are kind of grappled to the ground right now. If you would like to, you can at the end of your turn do another strength saving throw to get out of the grapple as you sort of wiggle your way out underneath their hands.
Oof. Yep. Okay, that's all I can do. Because I can't cast anything with the somatic component. Yeah, that's only going to be a 14.
Okay, so you remain grappled. So the water starts to fill up a little bit more inside of this room. Now we go to Fidget. Dizzy, you're up afterwards.
All right.
Okay.
I'm just drowning over here. Don't mind me.
Okay. Okay. Alright, sorry, my computer froze up for a minute. What happened?
So it is your turn.
Yeah. Okay. So I need to try to get out of the grapple thing. Yeah. Hang on.
Daddy, what's Ray doing?
Give me 1 second.
We got a little goblin. Join the party.
All right, I am going to put you, Dizzy, first in front of Fidget. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So Dizzy, you're up, and then Fidget will go after that.
All right, I'm seeing what's going on. I'm going to
close my eyes and I'm going to point at her and I'm going to try and charm person.
Ooh, okay. That is a great idea. It's a whiz save, right?
is 16.
And it's wisdom?
Yeah. Yes.
Right. Ooh, that is a 2.
Okay. So I like,
Hey, what you doing?
Okay.
We didn't do anything. We're just trying to find out what happened. Don't throw water. I don't like water. Like, don't do that. Don't you think you could use the water to fill up like the river? Wouldn't that help? Like, you don't need to hurt us. See, we're not hurting you.
and I'm just going to spend the turn trying to calm her down.
Okay, actually, that's perfect. Let's actually let's figure this out. We'll keep doing we'll keep the same initiative for now, but let's have a conversation. She says, "So that wasn't you that stole this water?"
No. I hate water. Why would I do that?
Just am so sad about it. This was my home.
Yeah.
It must have been the badmen then. Badmen must have taken all of this water, and if you want to find them, they're just right at the top of this waterfall.
Well, you're gonna have to let my friends go in order for us to like go and do that. But if you want to like start trying to fill up the river while we're gone, like that's totally fine.
I can only do this a little bit, just enough to kill
Every little bit helps. Just let my friends go. Well, yeah,
right.
whatever they are.
She'll like lift her hand a little bit, and the water kind of like dissipates, and as the room was just about like halfway up the side of the walls, it starts to exit out, and the grapple is removed, and you are now released, and we're out of initiative.
I don't think I'm ever gonna be thirsty again.
Yeah, who needs water?
Does anyone know where my shoe is?
I throw on the shoe.
Still has a few chunks of potato in it, but it's still good though. It's all good.
Yeah.
Gonna put that back on for the moment.
Did you dump out the potato?
As much as I could. I mean, I'm sure some of that water cleared out some of the taters.
Can I find like a leaf and wrap the potato?
There are no leaves here. Yeah, no.
Can I find a rock?
Yeah, there's rocks.
Okay, can I kind of try and clean it up with like a rock?
Sure. So, right in the base of where all the water would come down off the waterfall and churn up, it broke a couple of pieces of rocks out. So you can kind of grab a piece of like a flat, really nice piece of rock and start scooping it out.
Okay. It'll make sense later. Yeah. Someone gave us $5 in bits and it's going to me, so it means I have to play a prank on an NPC.
No.
So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna like shoo the rest of the group forward a little bit. Go.
I'll start climbing.
You go. Go. And then
So
I'm like, okay.
I'll scoop.
I've always got rope on me.
Hurry up.
This waterfall is it's only about maybe 30 feet tall, and around the outside of it, the rocks are pretty jagged. So if you want to, you can climb up doing another acrobatics check. This one's a little bit easier, so a DC 10 will suffice.
Yeah, that's a 19 on the die.
Beautiful.
What are we rolling again?
Athletics.
Athletics.
Yeah,
All right.
DC 10. You have like a plus 12 athletics or something?
Yeah, 13.
19.
13 plus 7. Yeah, that's a modded 20.
All right, so everybody's up. No issues. Fidget, what was your roll again?
I got a 16.
Yeah, everybody's up. No problem.
Yeah.
And Dizzy, you're
19.
waiting.
I'm waiting until they go up a little bit further.
Okay. Everybody is up about 25 feet. They're about to crest the top. And what do you do?
Once I make sure they're good. Is she still crying?
Yeah, she's in the water. Her legs kind of.
Oh, I'm not gonna throw a potato at her. She's crying. That's too mean. I will climb up the waterfall. I will save this for the bad men that she said. So.
Okay, cool. So
have an
here
idea.
is what happens next. Now that you've crested the waterfall, it returns back to this kind of very, very smooth board tunnel that leads ever northwards and ever upwards. And it takes another 30 or 40 minutes as you continue to walk up this thing. And at a certain point, you see some light up ahead. And you can tell that this opens up to the surface. You all have done a lot of surface work before, so you know you're about to crest out onto the surface.
So bright.
I smell the bad man.
I think that's Chuffy.
Oh, Chuffy! Your biting toe taters got me again.
I'm sorry.
And I was like, okay, I'll take care of it right now. Take off the shoe. Like,
Oh, look, there's a chunk.
Ugh.
Oh, look, there's a chunk of potato.
Ugh.
I'm not gonna be able to eat potatoes for like a straight 2 weeks after this. Ugh.
Has a certain spice to it.
I keep picturing like Gordon Ramsay when he goes into like the really bad kitchens and there's
Yeah.
like potatoes.
oh God, look at that.
So what? What do you guys do as you are about to crest outside of this tunnel? I don't want to assume you guys just charge forward.
I kind of actually assume we charge
I'm
forward.
gonna charge forward.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, I mean, we are goblins.
that is true.
We
All
go
right.
for it.
We have the element of surprise. Now is the time.
I mean, I do have a -1 to intelligence, so I may be a good rogue, but I'm not a smart rogue.
Okay, so you all think that it's you need to get up there so you can see what you're looking at, and when you do, what you see in front of you is the biggest structure you've ever seen before in your life.
Ooh.
What you see is a massive convex wall that is probably 40 to 50 feet tall, and it might be 300 feet in size widthwise. It is made of very, very purely hewn stone. It's a very smooth surface, and about 25 feet off of the ground, you see 3 things evenly spaced on the convex surface of this wall. They are massive chutes of water, one on the left, one on the right, and one right in front of you. However, the one right in front of you is shut off at the moment. The ones on the sides have massive jets of water shooting into what you assume to be a very similar situation to the cave that you're currently in right now. This appears to be some kind of runoff from whatever this massive structure is in front of you. Inside of this little what's it called? This tube coming towards you that should be full of water is a very, very heavy mesh preventing anybody from coming up inside of it. As you kind of look at the very top, you can see some figures kind of walking along the tops of the wall up above. And that is the situation that you currently find yourselves in. It is also roughly about 9-10 o'clock at night. So, and it is a rather starless night as well. So it is quite dark.
Charge! And run with my pike straight to the stone wall.
And then in my
Attack!
head,
Oh,
and,
God.
and in my head, I'm kind of going forward with this while I'm humming dun 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 dun.
Oh, you should be a bard too.
Dizzy just puts her head in her hand and goes, "Oh boy."
Fidget, what are you doing?
I think Fidget's like running behind them with he's got these 2 vials in his hand, just trying to mix them as he's running, and we'll see what they do if he needs it.
Okay.
Oh boy.
He's yeah.
All right. So, North and Chuffy, you charge up to the base of this massive, massive wall. And then what? Do you do one of those Monty Python things where you're just slashing?
Full tilt! Visor down! Running with a pike! Straight into the wall! I shall slay this foe!
Yeah, I kind of go up to it and see him with his pike out, and I'm like, I don't know if you can really poke this thing very well. It's kind of hard.
Ting, ting, ting!
I think we need to find a better way in. We need to be quiet and stealthy. I'm a rogue. I know these things.
I'm going to make a perception roll to see if there's any, vents or, doorways, because, doors are always nice. Any kind of opening that might allow us to get in.
Right.
Nat 20.
Dang.
So
I see the world.
So there are no doors at the where you are standing right now. However, what you do see is in this wall there is a little bit of a crack, and the crack is sort of it appears to go northward, and it's wide enough so that you can get your little goblin-y fingers inside of it and almost rock climb up, slowly but surely.
I can show you the door, shiny, shimmering.
But
Right.
Chuffy, you also know that there are people at the top there. So while this is a venue inn, there is going to be some complications should you get up there and be seen.
Chevy. Okay, so if you stand on my shoulders, and I stand on Dizzy's shoulders, and Dizzy stands on Fidget's shoulders, we should be able to reach the top.
How come I have to be on bottom? I'm always on the bottom.
Wouldn't that
You
make them,
you have foot-shaped shoulders.
wouldn't they see us better? I mean, we'll be 4 goblins tall. That's right.
4 goblins tall.
Yeah,
Only
yeah,
we
yeah.
had
4
a trench
goblins.
coat.
Oh, yes, does anyone have a...
Four goblins in a trench coat coming up to the door.
Does anyone pack a trench coat?
No.
I don't like it. All right, Chevy. I'll hold you up and you can climb from there.
Well, I can't. Oh, does anyone have a bow? We could like snipe them first, and then we can climb up.
I can blow them up.
I think we're trying to go with the stealthy kind of route, Fidget.
We'll be stealthy before it blows up.
Maybe that might be our grand escape plan.
Can I back up
This is
a
vial in
bit?
his pocket.
And I'll pull the boom.
How tall is it?
out. Can I try and like land the boomerang to try and knock out whoever's up at the top?
Okay, word. Yeah. Why don't you make an attack roll?
All right.
So it's only about 50 feet tall. So it's
Okay.
not
Just
yeah.
okay.
But before you throw it, I could put them to sleep.
That works better. She was like, just it.
Do that.
I know a great story,
Okay.
and it's a night time story, and it's about the soldier and the boar feast, and wait, I already told that one. It's okay. I'm gonna improvise.
So it's
Dizzy just falls
it
over,
working?
falling asleep.
that's a wisdom check too, right?
Uh,
Or hold on, no, you just put a bunch of hit dice.
yeah,
to
it's hit
sleep,
points.
right?
It's 5d8.
Okay. Yeah, these they do not have that many hit points. So let's just say you put them to sleep because I'm not going to make you roll.
Okay.
So yeah, there's so you cast the spell and you hear the very satisfying thump 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 as seems like the helmets of these people have fallen to the ground.
Sleep tight.
I
Shouldn't be named Noth. You should be named Nod. You send them all to the land
I
of
said
Nod.
I'm not.
I hope they're okay. I hope they didn't hurt themselves falling down, because hitting your head could be a big ouch. It's called concussion. It's not good.
I still say your name
It's a
should be
good thing their
Nod.
heads are
Let's
padded.
go.
My voice is gonna be torn by the end of the night.
Yeah, right.
It's all Bill's fault. None of us are able to talk tomorrow.
Oh, we love you, Bill.
Goblin Adventures.
I listen. I bailed like 3 sentences in.
We got a break
No,
coming up.
I'm
We can get you some water.
surprised. Yeah, go get. I mean, hey, yeah.
Yeah, during the break, I'm gonna go and grab some water. So okay, so why don't you? So I'm assuming you guys are now climbing up inside of that crack.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody, this is going to be a little bit tougher than the thing, but not as hard as the first one. So why don't you do a 12 DC 12 athletics check?
Okay.
So I have a rope. Would that help?
Exactly 12.
Oh,
Me
very
too.
nice.
Exactly 12.
All right.
Okay, let's see here.
Ugh.
That'd be that plus.
Mm.
Oops. Okay, that would
I
be
got
a
an
30.
18.
Oh my god, that's a 30.
13?
Ugh.
I have a. Oh my god, because I have a 13 plus a 17.
Wow. Okay, so you all make it up there, no problem whatsoever. Chuffy, you lose your hands for a second, and you just start levitating and floating up. It's amazing, with a roll of a 30. So here is what you see as you are at the very top. So first, you see the three sleeping bodies that are roughly, maybe 5, 10, 15 feet away from you up on top of this wall. This wall is about 5 feet in width and spans the entire length of this of the wall that you saw down below. And beyond that 5 feet, it drops off. But you go to the side of that side of the wall, and you look down, and what you see below is almost a massive courtyard. And this courtyard is paved with stones. It is roughly the size of 2 or 3 football fields. It's huge. And beyond that, there is a rather large structure, about 20 feet tall, and again, it spans the length of the entire wall. Moving inside of the courtyard is roughly about hundreds. I mean, you can't count how many people are down there at the moment. Some people are carrying machinery back and forth. Other people are carrying very detritus here and there. Some people are there's just stacks and stacks, like more water coolers than you can see, and people are kind of clustered around them, and they are having what you assume to be some kind of shop talk about what is going on inside of this massive building around the water coolers. And there are 3 doors out in that building off in the side. There is a one all the way on the left, a middle, and a right. And that is the situation you find yourselves in. As you, one additional detail, as you kind of watch what's going on here, and you're a little bit amazed because you've never seen this much activity before in one spot. You do see that every once in a while, somebody will go into that door, and they will walk in, and it doesn't seem like they touch anything, but the door opens, they walk in, and then it shuts immediately afterwards. So that's kind of the situation you find yourselves in.
Okay.
The madman have big juju.
Can I wander over to...
Now's the time for fire potions.
Can I wander over to one of those sleeping guards?
Okay.
No.
I'm going to scoop out like a stick or whatever, the potato, and put it in his hand. And try and use the tip of my boomerang to like lightly tap his face so he has to go boom.
Okay.
I will roll whatever you want me to do.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to do here. So why don't you do
Sleight of hand?
He's sleeping.
I'm tapping.
So sure. Sleight of hand.
Deception.
I wasn't sure if it was deception, performance, sleight of hand.
Kind of all.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's go. I got a sleight of hand is lower. It's +0, so that's gonna be a solid 15.
15 is plenty. So you load up this trebuchet of mashed potatoes in his hands, and you
Chuffy potatoes.
Yeah, you pull
Oh.
the trigger on his thing, and he launches this thing right into his nose in this very, very satisfying splat, as almost like it's a Jackson Pollock painting of potatoes all around him. And he kind of, you see, like he opens his eyes for a second, and then like.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
What have I started? Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
You're welcome. Thank you
Yeah,
for the
I was just gonna say.
donation.
I was gonna say, you're welcome, guys. You are welcome.
Yeah.
All right.
See what
I
happens when you
will.
dance in mashed potatoes? Nothing
Hey.
good comes of it.
Well, we found one good use for him.
I will actually cast Pass Without a Trace on us.
Okay.
So you get extra plus 10.
Okay, thought so. I was just gonna ask.
Lasts an hour.
All right,
So
and that's to sneak or the stealth, isn't it?
stealth. That's right.
checks. Yep.
Mhm.
Okay.
I
All right.
should have been using it
God.
before, but I had
Oh.
other priorities.
That'll be a plus 23 to my stealth.
Oh my god. Oh my
As
god.
long, as,
wow.
as long as I don't roll a 1, I'm golden.
Your next roll is gonna be a 1. You just
God.
literally jinxed yourself.
Oh no! Don't do that. No.
All right. So what do you want to do?
Well, I think what I will do is if we're going to go down to where all the people are, I'm going to go into my pouch and I'm going to pull out my set of common clothes plus a hood, put it on me, put it over my head, and I'm going to try to pretend like I'm a halfling or a gnome or something, so we can walk through there undetected.
Okay. Fidget, why don't you make an intelligence check?
Oh no.
Okay. Oh, I'm good. It's fine. Oh, I might not be good.
Why would you jinx yourself? Why would
That
you
is a
jinx?
12.
Okay, this is so you see Chuffy pull out this hood, and
Oh,
you start to think to yourself, that's not a bad idea. And you start looking around, and you notice that these bodies that are now sleeping have a very distinct uniform on.
Oh.
Hmm.
And the silence again.
Yeah.
It's the sound of silence.
It looks almost as though it is some. They look to be some kind of security guards.
I'm gonna. How big are the uniforms?
They are tall person sized.
Tall
Okay.
people.
Okay, here's what we do. Okay.
It's the big
Okay, we
people
take two of
clothes.
them. We take two of them. One stand on one's shoulders, one stand on the other ones. We look like guards.
Oh no.
I was disguised self to be the face.
Oh god, that's terrifying.
So, we're doing two
Goblins in a
goblin
trench coat.
towers. Oh god.
Yep.
This is not gonna go well, guys.
It'll be fine.
This is going to go exactly as we expect.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
fine.
This is a goblin plan if I ever heard one. Oh man.
I should
Well,
have
you
a
are
set
a
of-
goblin, so there you go.
Nyar.
I actually have a set of common clothes, so whoever wants to be on top, I'll give them the hood that they can sort of flip up. and
I'll
be
go on
bottom.
top. I'll go on top.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be the
Wait,
other top.
I will break. I will do this. I will break. Oh no, it won't. It will look weird because it'll just disguise me. So it'll just look fine up top, and then it won't look fine on the bottom. So never mind.
Maybe I can do. Yeah.
All right. So top on the one hand is Dizzy.
Yep.
Dizzy, who are you standing on top of?
Fishy.
Fidget. Sorry.
All right.
Close enough.
Close it up.
And Chuffy, you are on top of Noth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't Fidget, since you were the one to take off the cloak of one of them, why don't you do an investigation check?
All right. Let me see what I have in that. I'm not gonna say anything, so I don't jinx it. Okay. Oh, that is a 19.
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right, so you you took off the hood of this thing, and you're starting to like remove their arms from the cloak itself. And as you're taking their arm out, you see that their arm has this. It's around the wrist is this kind of colorful bracer that you think might be something that you want to bring with you.
I'm gonna take it.
All right.
Yeah.
Shiny.
Yes. Mine.
Okay. So I guess with the 19, you start to look at this bracer, and it's got some writing on the very bottom of it, and the top is this colorful bluish and azure mix of all these different kinds of blues into this one circular design on the top.
Can I read the writing?
Yes, you can.
Cool.
It says, I didn't think about what it would say. Kind of off the dome at the moment. It says, it says entry pass.
Ooh. This could be important.
Phil, I don't know what's worse, the fact that you're laughing at whatever it is.
You should. Yeah.
Entry pass.
Yeah.
Pass entry. Entry pass.
Pass entry.
Yeah. I'm gonna pass it up to Dizzy. You might need this.
What is it?
I don't know. It just says entry pass. Keep it.
Oh,
I'll stick it up in my hair with the boomerang. I'm just gonna tuck it in.
Yeah, works.
It works. All right. You gotta walk us forward because I can't move us.
Okay. Yeah.
Sally forth.
huh?
Be my eyes. I can't see.
All right. Go. Oh, ow.
Chuffy, what's going on out there? I feel like I'm missing out.
Just go forward, okay? Just go forward, nice, and act natural. Act like one of the big people.
I want to be the arms.
But I'm the arms. You're the legs.
All right. I thought it was me to walk.
Just go forward. Let's
I'm
just
pulling Fidget's hair like in Ratatouille to let him know
I
which
don't have any
directions
hair.
he wants to go.
Or actually, like you're tugging his ears.
Yeah.
Ow.
All right. So I think this is probably a perfect place to take a break.
All right.
So when we come back, your actual assault into the building is going to take place. You have to choose between one of the 3 doors and figure out a way to get there.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, you're only 30 feet above the ground right now, so one piled on top of each other and
Just
half blind.
fine.
Don't worry about it, kid.
Fine.
You got this.
Should go
You got
right.
this.